ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cliff Notes Tuesday at iAcquire. I am Jaylee. Today I will talk about the history of link building by Patty Morgan. When we talk about link building, we may think about Google. Actually, link and anchor tags existed before Google. One of the earliest mentions of anchor tags was in 1998. Since Google was gaining more and more power, SEOs were turning their attention to Google to figure out how they worked and how it made a tick. And there are actually the large-scale link building skills such as article syndication, blog comments were very popular. But we may think, why Google didn't take any action? Why Google allowed this to happen? There are actually two reasons the author thought about. First one, Google preferred scalable algorithmic methods of dealing with the web spams and the techniques that the webmasters guidelines. And the second reason for that is they tended to not to penalize those websites that may be penalized by accident. So they would rather not to push out the updates until they're pretty sure that the innocent website will not get penalized. However, there is a form which you can find from Google that if your website is penalized by accident, you may file the form and then tell Google that, oh, you are hit by accident, and they will deal with it. And okay, so until 2011, Google was finally aggressive in taking actions on the over-optimization of link buildings. So what are the main updates on this? The first one, the main one is Jigar in October 2005. It was at then 2005, the link building techniques such as the large-scale, low-quality links, they were really popular. So at that time, a lot of websites were hurt. And then in 2012 April, there's an update called Search Quality Update was pushed up, and this one didn't give much information what it targeted, but we could clearly see that Google was targeting those low quality links and the way they handle the anchor text. And then in April 2012, there was an update called Penguin 1, and this one was really powerful since they were targeting the over-optimization, but people could see that they were targeting more to the web spams. However, it signaled that the Google was more aggressive in this sense to deal with the unnatural links, like very low quality and links exchanges. And 3.1 queries, English queries, were affected. And then in 2012 May, Penguin 2 was pushed up, and only 0.01% of English queries were affected. So this one was not that noticeable compared to Penguin 1. And then in October 2012, Penguin 3 was updated, and this one still didn't affect a lot of websites, like only 0.3% of English queries websites were affected. So these 5 updates were the main updates of the Google related to links. So we now can see that Google already taking more and more actions, but however, they still don't want to penalize the website by accident. So you will find a form from Google if your website is penalized, like I said before. Okay, so this is all for the history of link building. And next week, Jordan will tell you more about the page rank, which you will be really interested in. Thank you for watching.